So, do you celebrate others' triumphs? Let's kick this off, Moira. What's your number one tip on this?
So
The answer better be yes.
So the answer is yes.
Yes,
I think this is an interesting one because you were saying about taking you back into childhood, about being aware of celebrating others' triumphs. I think that as we mature and grow and see other people's triumphs, I think we can all go through a time of feeling like, oh, it's, I'm not good enough, or I didn't work hard enough, or it's easy for them to, that kind of dialogue, whether that's happening or not. I think the big tip here, tip number one, is to realize and recognize that what you see in your outer environment is a reflection of your inner environment.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome. This is Deborah and this is Moira.
Hello.
With our deliciously motivated mindset conversation. I have to say that slowly, like deliciously motivated mindset conversation via podcast.
Yes.
With Debz and Moira. Yeah, hey, which is one's in New Zealand currently and one's in Canada currently. Currently, because you just don't know where we are.
Yeah,
any other time of the day.
Could change. It could change.
I know. And today, I know we say this every time, today's a goodie, but today's a really bloody good one.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a great one to really reassess yourself and what's going on around you and what is really going on. But anyway,
where's your attention going?
Yeah, that's the one. So before we start, thank you for joining us. But if you've been here before, you'll know what I'm going to say next. And if you haven't,
just
hold
follow
on.
along.
Oh, you're like follow along, and I'm like, hold on, here we go. So what we do is we check out where our emotion is sitting right now, and then we check in with you halfway, and we check in with you at the end. So we have a check-in, and the check-in is a number from 0 to 10. 10 being Christmas lights in the corner entangled. Going, I'm not even looking at that box. It's much easier to go out and buy a new box.
Total chaos.
Completely, boom. And then we have the 0, which is, what do we call it? 0 for Zen recently.
Yes,
I was like,
0
quite
for
like
Zen.
that. I was like, yeah, I like that. 0 for even just, I just went there. That feels very nice. So that's the 0. So we put ourselves at a number, and then you start listening to us. And our aim is to get you closer to not the Christmas tree lights to 10. Our aim is to get you closer to the 0 to Zen.
Yeah.
And you'll check in with yourself halfway and you'll check in with yourself at the end. And it's just a way to go, I know why I'm feeling a 7 because I've had no sleep for 3 days and I've got a sick child. Or I'm going through this emotion right now, so I'm an 8. Or, I'm actually not too bad. I've got a couple of things on my list, so I'm a 2. So just know right now there is no right or wrong with the number you're putting down. You're just putting a number. It's just a number.
Just an assessment tool. Showing up where you are. Absolutely.
Perfect. And that's it. So what is your number, everybody? And Moira. Oh, no, I've got to think of my number. Moira, I do this all the time. This is the hardest part of the podcast for me.
I'm going to put myself at a 1.5, I think. Just because that's what came to me.
Yeah, and I'm going to say a 2 because I don't really know. but I feel all right. Like I don't have a headache. My body feels moving, but I'm just going to say a 2 just in case. So just in case, because, I don't want to get it wrong. Just in case
As if you could
whatever.
get it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So Moira's a 1.5 and I'm a 2. And let's see if we can shift those numbers higher or lower as we go along and talk today. But our topic today, because you already know what our topic is, we all do, but do you celebrate others' triumphs? Holy moly. I would say this is a big thing from a child. When I go back to school, I remember this sort of stuff nowhere near as much as I do in my 50-year-old I am now. So do you celebrate others' triumphs? Moira, let's kick this off. Oh, before we do, grab yourself a pen and a paper and start writing notes, people, or not, or type it. Pen is a biro, because apparently I have an accent. I don't know if I do.
Pen or pencil, some kind of writing implement. You could even do it in crayon if you wanted to.
Oh, crayon. I used to love writing in crayon.
I did too.
Oh, diversion there. Okay, so yes, because I think you'd like to write some notes, people.
Yes, that's our intention, is to share notes and perspectives, shift in perspective. That's kind of what this is all about, right?
Perfect. So do you celebrate others' triumphs? Let's kick this off, Moira. What's your number 1 tip on this?
So
the answer better be yes.
So the answer is yes. Yes, I think this is an interesting one, because you were saying about taking you back into childhood, about being aware of celebrating others' triumphs. I think that as we mature and grow and see other people's triumphs, I think we can all go through a time of feeling like, oh, it's, I'm not good enough, or I didn't work hard enough, or it's easy for them to, that kind of dialogue, whether that's happening or not. I think the big tip here, tip number 1, is to realize and recognize that what you see in your outer environment is a reflection of your inner environment. So if you have lots of people having massive triumphs and accomplishments and wins, that's actually a beautiful way of saying this is all possible for you, but this is also what's going on in your inner landscape. So it really would be in all of our best interest to celebrate others' triumphs, because it brings more, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, that's that same. Moira does an amazing thing called Ask the Tarot once a month, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's an hour, and you sign up and you jump in on that, and she pulls some cards and she gives you some insight that you've been trying to avoid, and she pretty much just nails it. We'll just cut to the chase. Would that be right? Yes,
that's kind
every
of
time. Yeah, well, it's definitely for me. But when I'm on those calls, one of the things I love is I hear she talks to somebody, and she's talking to someone, and I'm like, oh, that's for me. I'll have that card, whether it's a uplifting one or not, or it's a realization. And so it seems when I get part of these little groups, I go, oh, I'll have that. And I don't pick and choose. I try to, but the universe just delivers anyway. But it's a great one to say that what's going on for, say, Holly, made up name Holly. What's going for Holly is I'm like, oh, that's me as well. And I take a piece of that myself. And so that's that whole reflection as well. So what's happening around you is 100% yours as well. It's just if you're open to actually seeing that, which sometimes you're not. But that's what I love. So it's not, if she's got, 10, 15 people or whatever on that call, I get a piece of everything. Yeah. Because there's no mistake that we're all on that call at once.
At the same time. I completely agree.
And it's not the same people every month. And it's, that would be it. So I think that's a great one of what you just said, is actually, I'll have a piece of that.
Yeah. And recognizing, because there's a click. There's that, you're describing it of, I'll have a piece of that. There's some kind of resonance within you that goes, oh, that's for me too. Right? So it's a recognition.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's me. Oh, don't want that. I don't want to hear that, but shoot, because we know we hear these things sometimes, often 3, 4, 5 times, and you're like, oh, I've heard that. That's not for me. That's strange that I'm actually hearing that. And the person beside you doesn't hear that same conversation. You're like, well, it wasn't for them. It's clearly for you.
It was
and
obviously
like,
for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Duh. Yeah, I think I love that. I love that. Realize and recognize that outer environment is the reflection of the inner environment. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
When I talked about the age thing, my thing is, and there's some social media ones, and you see little kids and they get a goal, and they're playing football or rugby, or they're playing a sport,
Mm-hmm.
and they get a goal, and all their teams celebrate. And I'm talking about 5 or 6 year olds. They just high five and they all hug each other and they do their thing. But then the other team come in and they celebrate that person who got the goal.
That's awesome.
And and I know it's not how sport's supposed to be, apparently, according to everybody, but I love that. And you don't want the other team to get a goal, really. You just want it yourself. But I love that kids just go, oh, yay, you got a goal. Oh, let's all celebrate. Yeah. And both teams, I'm sure people have you ever seen that? Oh, I get a whole heap of sport, probably because my algorithms are different to yours, Moira. But I see them all the time, and I just love seeing this. And the thing is, I love seeing the celebration. I love seeing that. And also love seeing with little kids is if someone injures themselves from the other team, the little one from the other team usually just comes up and gives them a big hug and, are you okay? And I just go, that's so different that young age compared to as we get older and take on other people's stories and attach to us of what's right or wrong in our own mind. When if someone's hurt, that's beautiful. But if someone's hurt in the other team, oh no, I can't go over there. They've got their own team doctor or they've got that. It's like, actually, no, get over there and find out what's going on.
Truly, truly. And so that's been indoctrinated into some kind of competitive them and us.
Yes, them and us. But I do love that. I love that. Do you celebrate other people's triumphs? Because our kids do it.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids literally show us that stuff to remind us, oh my God, how cute. Look, they're all high-fiving each other for a goal. Little do they know that actually we don't want them to get any goal. We want to win. But kids are just joyous in those situations. So my tip is take a look at the kids around. What can you learn from the little ones around you?
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have the stories as much as we have attaching to us.
Definitely. So the other part too, so this actually leads me into kind of a follow-on from that. So I love that. We could all learn a lot from watching kids. But the next part too is that competitive. It's that comparing ourselves to others and being competitive. That could perhaps deny us the joy of celebrating somebody else's triumph. Because let's face it, I don't know about you, but if I'm celebrating somebody's triumph, I don't care who it is, I feel uplifted. I feel joy-filled. Right? And so it's a gift to me too.
Yeah, we've just had the World Cup, Football World Cup play that we've watched in Qatar, and it was Argentina and France. Now, I'm not a big football person, but my partner is. So, 4 a.m. watching football. Yeah. And it was great to even see, now Argentina won. It was great to see the French fans, clap and applaud and celebrate.
Beautiful.
The other team, and there was some that weren't, but I just love seeing that's where the camera zoned in, but I love seeing them actually celebrate the other team at that age was my thing. Because I wasn't attached to whoever was winning. It didn't bother me. I mean, I wasn't 100% invested in it anyway. But if it was my team, I'd probably be. But I'm somebody who applauds the other team if they get a goal or if they get a point or something. I'm somebody who just applauds. Whether I'm rooting for one team or another, I'm just like, okay, well done. I don't want you to have it, but I'm definitely going to applaud that goal because it was a damn good goal. Right. So I think that's the other thing is...
acknowledging the sport, acknowledging the ability, right?
Yeah, exactly. Acknowledge the ability. Yeah, point. Acknowledge the ability of what's around there and seeing.
Did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that the other one for me too is that and we've talked about it on our episodes in the past, and I know it's said so often, is the reminder that we are all one. So if I celebrate someone else's triumph, it's because it's part of me already.
Yeah.
And knowing that when I triumph, that I'm doing it for the betterment of everyone. Right. So it's not just like, this is my triumph and everybody gets away.
It's all mine.
Away. Yeah, it's all mine.
Well, the CEO gets an award for the best franchise, but it's actually not the CEO's done all the work. It's the whole team.
Right.
That's what you're saying, isn't it?
Yes.
We are one.
We are one.
Yeah. Yeah, because you congratulations, you've made target and you've done really well and well done. It's like, well, if my team weren't here, I wouldn't have.
Exactly.
So it is. Yeah, I think that's a great one.
But the other part too is that energetically, if I'm feeling happy, like, you know how when you go into a room and there's a room filled of people who are all like, oh, get away from me, or I don't like that person, or I'm keeping all my gifts to myself. The energy is very different to the energy of a room that you walk into, and it's all like, let's celebrate, let's all connect, let's acknowledge one another. Then you really recognize, and even regardless of what kind of mood you were in, like if you were at a 10 on our scale of 0 to 10 and you walked into a room where everybody was like 0 to 2, you would calibrate to that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm meaning about we're all one, because if those people are feeling pieced out and blissed out because they have triumphed at something, they've triumphed over silencing their chattering mind or something like that, then you get to come in and enjoy that too. So it's like celebrating that accomplishment or that triumph actually makes it real for you too.
Yeah, like attaches like.
Yes.
That's the thing I was just saying.
Yes.
And when you're saying that, I know if you're a 10, don't go out.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you have to go out, don't do it, because it's going to take all your energy to get yourself to a 9. Now, I like going to somebody and go, oh, I have a piece of that energy. I'm like just exactly saying I'm a 3, but they're a 0. I want a piece of them. And you can attach that. That's 100%. And you're not an oxygen thief by taking their oxygen, because they've got enough to go around.
Yeah.
But it is that like attaches like, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's what the law of attraction is, right?
Yeah. And so I'm going to mention about the green-eyed monster.
That's what will derail some of this, right?
That green-eyed monster is one ugly, if you let it continue. Like, it doesn't have to be ugly, because as soon as it comes up, you can deal with it. Then it's not ugly. It's like an experience. But if you let that jealousy and green-eyed monster, oh, they've won 3 years in a row. They've got a better clinic than us. They've got, they've got a wholesome family, and we're having trouble in our family. And look at them post on social media. Bullshit. Like all that stuff. And that green-eyed monster can take you off purpose.
Right.
And your purpose is to have an inspiring life.
Definitely.
I'm looking at more and more. It's like, I know that. But your purpose is to have an inspiring life and serve with love and give with love, but don't get burnt out, clearly. And when you're giving with love, you're not. But it is that. But if you have that green-eyed monster that comes and chips in your ear and starts chewing away, you must deal with it as promptly as you can, because it will throw you backwards. Absolutely. And take you off kilter.
Absolutely. And something you were mentioning about social media, I think that's something that's really, really important. If you are starting to be envious or jealous about something because you saw somebody posting something on Facebook, you have to really be careful. It's like honor, acknowledge, recognize that that's what feeling is coming up in you, but then also be very wary to disengage from it, because you don't really know. Somebody posts something on social, you don't really know that that's what's going on.
Social media just annoys the crap out of me some days, and then other times I really love it. And I just go, don't fluff around and say this, this, and this, because I know what's really going on. Oh, my
Yes,
partner's amazing.
exactly.
Well, actually, you're consulting with me to tell me you want to leave your partner, so don't BS that.
Yeah.
Like, just don't put that your partner's amazing. Like, why are you doing it? Who do you think's going to think your partner's amazing? Because a lot of people can read through your energy.
Yeah,
And
I
they know
know.
when you're like, there's somebody I know, 2 influencers, and they're separated. And one of them, and she's just posting all these things. Look at my new top. Look at my new boobs. And I'm just going, oh, I know exactly what you're trying to do, love. You're clearly trying to say to your ex, look at me now. Oh, I'm going out
so
drinking.
much better without you.
Yeah, and prior to that, there was never any pictures of, my tight tops or my going out drinking. And it's just like, oh, what? You think that? Who do you think this is for?
Right.
We're all sitting back laughing at you, love, which is a horrible thing. So that social media, just know everybody has both sides. And no one's going to, well, actually, I was going to say no one turns up on camera with bad hair. Well, I sometimes do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I take that back. But they're not going to consciously, maybe not. Okay, I'll take that fully back. Yeah, I'll take that fully back.
Doing the best. We just do the best we can with where we're at.
Yeah. So just know that everybody has 2 sides. Everyone is mean and kind. You challenge them, they're going to be mean. If you support them, they're going to be kind. That's all there is to it. And social media just is that 2-sided perception.
Yeah, and it's not real.
No,
it's not real. And so like you're saying, that people that I know is people that post, oh, this is so wonderful, this is so perfect, and yet I actually know what they really think about it because they've told me. But they wouldn't say it. They wouldn't say it in public, but they'll tell me the truth. And so then if I see posts from people like that, I have to turn it off, because it's like, yeah, no, I don't know who you're lying to, but it's obviously yourself. Right?
Yeah. Well, that really blew it up with the pandemic. For me, I realized people would say things to you in a conversation, but then on social media, they'll say, oh, it's fine and dandy and I'm loving life and this is great, being in isolation and all this. But behind the scenes, Deborah, I'm bored. I want to kill my partner and my kids. And this is where I'm at. And it's like, okay, so why are you posting on social media that isolation's fantastic? Because, I think it's going to help people. Why don't you just say, actually, I want to kill my partner? And I'm like, actually, hang on, no, don't put that on there.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Just say, yeah,
don't do that.
But it is, the social media is just one-sided. So either be transparent or
avoid it.
What you post.
Just avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah, the green-eyed monster can take you off your purpose.
And
low that self-worth.
And definitely, but then make you get a little bit over judgy about these other people's triumphs. It takes away from you being critical. Able to just being able to say, wow, that's good for you. I'm so proud of you. Like you were saying about the 5 and 6 year olds doing high five. You just got a goal.
You've got to watch them. They just like, yay, and you're like, what? I remember my daughter at age 5, one of her team members got the ball. Oh, I tell you what, watching her play hockey was very painstaking as a parent. Age 5, she couldn't even hold the. Oh God. Anyway, it was a little bit of a challenge for me. Who's a little bit sporty, competitive in certain things, but they got our team got a goal in our own goal, and everyone was celebrating. It's like, okay, there's just no point telling them, by the way, you just got a goal in your own goal. You need to get it down the other end of the hockey field turf. Yeah, but they just celebrate. Kids just celebrate. Everything's joyous in their mind until we come in and pop their blooming bubbles for certain things. But
isn't that sad though? Because wonder what it would be like if their bubbles like that didn't get popped. If they grew into adults that celebrated and saw the triumphs all around them, and didn't matter what side of the fence or what belief system you came from. I mean, that just makes my heart sing.
I know, and it is these past stories we have. Oh, don't go and apply for that job, because I had a job at the council and it was hot. Actually, I say that. I actually had a job at the council and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So in case any of my council people are listening. So I had a job at the council and I didn't like it. So don't go and apply for a job at the council. They're the worst people. Be aware of other people's stories. Actually, that's probably a tip. Be aware of other people's stories.
Definitely.
Not attaching to you.
Yes.
Because that's the stuff that can attach, and it can attach good. And what do you say about Velcro?
Oh, negativity has too much Velcro.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when it's like that, that's like that
It
gossip
is.
spreads, right? Like, oh, don't do that, and oh, guess what? And then there's all
Did
these
you know? Yeah.
stories get told. Oh, yeah, it's because of this. It's because of this. It's like that actually reminds me too. Did you ever play that game that they called Chinese Whispers when you were at school?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
In that
And
one, so you get whispered. So you stand in a circle and one person whispers a statement into the next person's ear, and you have to go all the way around the circle, and you at the end of it, the last person has to say, and it's always so diverse. It's like completely.
It's actually incredibly different. There's not even like one word often. You know, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog, or one of those, and then it's like the elephant went through the forest and found a carrot.
Yes.
And you're like, what? There's not
How
even
did that happen?
Quick brown fox jumped. Like those words are not even in there. I know you hear those. Yeah, that's exactly it. And that's that. Gossip spreads like STD.
Yeah.
Gossip spreads like glitter.
Like glitter.
Yeah,
like glitter. You can't ever brush it off you.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
Yeah, but you know, the other thing too about that is that, and it is in that alignment with it's got too much Velcro. It's like that, oh, this is terrible and that's terrible. It's like you're saying about, oh, don't go and do that activity, or don't go into that job because, and it's basically saying, just because you had a bad experience doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad experience for every single person in every single possible scenario related to that environment or that situation, right?
That's that old saying. When I had a medical condition recently and I went to the doctor, and the doctor said to me, now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to give you my private mobile number. I was like, okay, what's going on here? He said, when your sisters, cousins, brothers, neighbors, dog vet who lives in another country has the same thing as you, do not listen to their stories.
Right.
And that's exactly it.
So important advice.
And I remember he said, do not, if you want any questions, you text me my mobile and I can reply. He said, just ask me. Because it's like, oh, did you know? It's like when you're pregnant, they go, oh, people tell you those horrific stories. You're like, oh, how are you going to have a pregnancy? Oh, well, my sister's cousin's neighbor, and she lives in America, but then she moved from so-and-so, and you're left with this whole scenario before you get to who this person is. She had a baby, and the birth was horrific, and she's never going to have another child again. And you're like, great, okay, there's multiple people have a woman. I wouldn't have a child because of that story. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And that's those other people's stories are so, Velcro.
you got stuck and over expanded it. Because so I just thought of something. How would it be, if somebody was, oh, I had this horrible story or this horrible thing that happened, and you turned around and celebrated the fact that they triumphed and got through it.
Oh, my sister's cousin's neighbor's friend had that, and she had a breeze. She had an icky pregnancy, but she's got an amazing child.
Like, oh, but you're still here, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, imagine that. Imagine, oh, celebrate. Oh,
woohoo, you're still here, or you got through it. Or as opposed to the, oh, you can't do that because this is what's going to happen. It could be, it's like to celebrate others' triumphs could be like, oh, well done on them. They overcame that hardship. But I'm good. Thanks for sharing your story.
Yeah. Well, it's funny we say this because we say this because one of the things I'm doing a talk at a beauty conference coming up, and And one of the things is I wanted to buy crowns for every single person in the audience.
Yeah.
And they've actually gone missing. I've ordered twice and they've gone missing.
Darn.
Both shipments have gone missing. But one of the things is I wanted to get everyone a crown and then they can adjust them. Like, this is who you're going to buddy up with, whether they're another salon owner or not, and actually go, hey, what's going on? What's not going on? Here's a crown. Let me adjust your crown for you. And when I pitched that to the big cheese
organizers,
she was like, oh my God, I absolutely love that idea. She said, because we're all in competition with each other, but we're not. They're like salons in different cities.
Right.
But there is that competition, but they're not. And she was like, I love that idea that I could just go up to somebody else and just adjust their crown.
I love
but we
that.
do.
Yeah.
Drunk women do it in pubs. They go, oh, hang on, your shoulder's exposed or something. Let's just fix that.
Yeah.
Or I'm somebody who takes a hair off someone's back or something.
Yeah,
so
I do that.
Yeah. And
or,
so that's
your zip, use the back of the zip undone or something.
Yeah,
right?
Toilet paper on the shoe. We do this stuff. We do this. And so you're actually celebrating someone else's, oh my God, you look amazing, but you've got toilet paper on your foot. Let me fix that.
Right.
And so our part is to actually celebrate that and tweak those people around, because nobody wants toilet paper on their shoe.
Of course
unless
not.
they're a clown and there's a whole process that goes with it. But it is that what can you do to help someone? You're serving with love in a way. But she absolutely, and I've ordered 2 lots of these bloody crowns and they haven't turned up. So I'm just considering, third time, do I spend more money and get another shipment out? And is it going to turn? Because I love that idea.
I think it's an excellent idea, because that's such a beautiful way to really install.
Well, it's a physical thing that you can see.
Yeah, it's giving you the cellular awareness. It lands it so beautifully, and I think that those people that experience that will never forget it.
Yep.
Right,
yep,
because
100%.
it's going to land at their heart.
I'll order more crowns then.
Yeah, 3rd time's a charm. You know that.
Oh, they better be. But I love that idea, and because the salons are all in competition with each other, but they're not.
But they're not. No, they're doing the similar service.
And even if they're in the same town, they're not. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like, Deb, we talk and compare about our nails.
Oh, so, yeah.
So
you've got nicer nails than me today.
In the place that I live, there are a number of different places. I think there's like 4 or 5 different places in a fairly small town that I could go to. But none of them really compete with one another, because the people that I go to and I feel like a really good click with are my people, and vice versa. I think that's how come there's so many coaches or healers or practitioners.
People say that. People go, but I want to be a coach, but there's so many out there. It's like,
we're all needed. Yeah.
Look how many podcasts are out there. But do you think Moira and I are going to stop podcasting?
Exactly.
No. I look forward to my yeah.
No, and that's the whole thing, is that the flavor of what we do is different. You can't ever say, oh, I've heard everything that you've got to say because I listened to this other conversation. It's like, no, you don't. And not everybody's going to resonate with this. And that's why I think it's so important for us all to find our authentic voice, celebrate everyone else finding their authentic voice, and support everybody coming up and being aware of their strengths and moving forward. Collectively, that's what we're all wanting to do, isn't it? Aligning with who we really are, sharing our gifts.
Yeah, I love that. Find your authentic voice, because if the more authenticity you are, the more I know we talked about like attaches like, and we are one, but when you find that authentic voice, you do gel towards that. You do resonate towards those people, and they resonate to you because they like you. There is that whole finding that authentic voice.
And that comes from being very solidly grounded in and celebrating you with your voice, right?
Yep. Yes.
Because then you know that you're being true to your gifts and your mission, your calling, your purpose, what you're wanting to share, what you're wanting to bring into being for other people.
Yeah. And I think when you're authentic, you don't, I would say that the more authentic I am, the less fearful I am of worrying about what people think
Yeah.
about me.
Yeah, I
You
agree
know,
with that.
and I think of the word stay in your zone, stay in your lane.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking what you like, if you get me on a podcast and talk about how to be a car mechanic, I'm gonna fluff, I'm gonna giggle, I'm gonna get out of that conversation as quick as I can because I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
So, when you find that authentic voice, you're in your zone of genius, and that's what lights you up. That gives you that ignition.
Yep. And it's the one that you can keep doing, and you can keep flowing, and you keep coming up with content and new perspectives and new ideas. Whereas if you went, like you say, if you went somewhere that was not your zone of genius, you'd be inauthentic. You'd have to be making stuff up, and you'd be going, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I know. Well, people say to me, "Oh, I can't public speak," and I'm like, "What are you speaking on?" They're like, "Oh, I'm going to speak on this." I'm like, "So speak on it." And then they talk to you and they rattle off all this stuff and they're inspired. I'm like, "You just publicly spoke and you talked about it and you didn't." Oh, but I can't do that I can't do that to a group. Why?
It's
Why?
no different than speaking to one person.
I know. And I remember one of my mentors saying, "You can definitely talk your genius to a group of 5-year-olds because you know more than them, but you're fearful that there's somebody in that audience who's going to ask you a question that you can't answer."
And if they do, that's great. I think that's something to celebrate.
Yeah, that's a great question. I have no idea. It's okay saying it's a great question. I have no idea. Like, I don't know.
That's the most authentic thing to do.
Yeah, totally.
As opposed to, I know everything. That's what I can't get up. And that's actually a really good point about the celebrating others' triumphs of, say, comparing yourself to somebody maybe who does get up and confidently speak on a topic that you would like to speak on. And, I can't do it until I know everything about it. That's not true. Because your spin on things is what the world needs to hear from. So if you have that desire to go and speak about something, go speak.
Yeah.
Stand up.
And so for me, I know, and I think about that. I do a lot of Facebook Lives. I do a weekly Facebook Live. But
so do I.
But maybe there's probably been 3 times I've had to pre-record a Facebook Live. So because something's happened or I'm flying or something. And I tell you what, it takes so long to do that pre-recording.
Yes,
because I get on there and even I go, "Hi, Debz Cooper, global stressologist. Thanks for coming today. I want to, what am I talking about?" And I don't even get a minute in and I stuff it up and I stuff it up and it takes so long to even get past that. But on a Facebook Live, you're live.
It's like so you're on. You're on.
I know. You
go.
Actually, and if I have to pre-record, I could guarantee probably every single time I have done a whoopsie. Every time. Because
so it's really funny because I did my live this morning and I flubbed it, but I just kind of like,
really?
Well, that's what happens.
Well, I prefer those ones. I prefer, I'm like, "Oh no, hang on, perfection. Oh no, perfection. Oh no, perfection." I'm just like, or I go to talk and I realize I've got a hair sticking up or something and I go to grab it and realize, no, it's the other way around. So you're grabbing it with your right hand, it's the left hand, and I'm like, I'll just let it be. If that hair's sticking up, that hair's sticking up.
Accept it. Is what it is.
But I do like the Facebook Lives because you're on the spot and I'm authentic.
Yep.
Whereas the other stuff,
it's the best way to just get out of your own way, actually, because it's not, I can't get into a conversation like, I'm not ready, don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm live, I'm talking.
I'm talking and I can't just cut it off halfway through.
Nope, because I'm on here.
Because I'm embarrassed about what
already.
I've said. Yeah.
This has been a really good conversation. I was intrigued as to where we would go with this, but do you celebrate others' triumphs? I think the overarching vibe of what we've covered is that if you don't, then you need to start cultivating some kind of appreciation or some ability to be able to do it. Because the more you can celebrate others' triumphs, the more triumphs you will recognize and enjoy within yourself, right?
Yes, it's 100%. I just think about it and I think, don't go into the why am I not. I'm just going to add that one. Don't go into the why because that has
whys always take you down into some negative spin anyway.
Yeah,
am I
don't
not?
go, why am I not doing it? Why am I not? Why am I? Don't even unpack it. You can definitely unpack it, but the only people you can unpack it with is Moira and Debz.
That's right.
We can 100% figure out the why, and we can pull it out and we can deal with it. Don't go do the why. Just don't. I don't often tell you not to do things, but don't.
But you're being told now.
Was I firm enough? No whys. No whys.
No way. Well, my dear, let's go and review the tips. We know
Yeah.
that you've got some good nuggets, but we'd like to just summarize and recap the tips that we ran through. Do you want to take us away with that one?
So the first one, I was like, who wrote that? That's Moira. I was like, oh, that's a good one. Who did that? Can't be me. It's what I just went straight to self-doubt. Yep, great. I'm celebrating Moira's triumphs, clearly. So is realize and recognize your outer environment is a reflection of your inner environment.
Yes. And so that's what that whole point. The more you can celebrate the external things, the more you're celebrating the internal as well. It's such a beautiful thing. Beautiful.
Perfect. And I love that. That's such a simple one, but and a beautiful one to start it off with.
Mm-hmm. Simple and powerful.
Yeah.
The next one actually is yours, and it's look at the age. I loved your stories that you shared about the kids the kids playing soccer and celebrating. Doesn't matter who got the goal, celebrate it, do the high fives. But I loved how you also brought in that it wasn't just to celebrate the wins and the goals. It was also having compassion when somebody got hurt, and regardless of what side it is. So I think that's a really important part, is to
that's our human nature.
Yes.
But when you get older, it's like, oh, you can't help that other person because they're from the other team. It's like,
that's right,
they're a person.
But that's the thing of I think it's to unpack and release the them and us mentality, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do like that, them and us. Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah.
And with I had was one of them was acknowledge the ability of others. And I talked about the Football World Cup to see the France who lost against Argentina, but to see them actually celebrate that Argentina won, because we don't, because they played a damn good game, and it went to extra time, and then it went to penalty shootout. I mean, it was all the things spectators want to see.
Right.
It had action
from all of it in there.
Right from as soon as another goal came, they were like, yay, we're winning. Oh no, the other team got a goal. Oh my God, we've got to work harder. It was definitely one on the edge of the seat. So acknowledge the ability of others. I love that.
I think that's really important.
No matter what age.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Which beautifully took us into the tip about we are all one. So when you acknowledge other people's abilities, you're acknowledging that because maybe it's an ability you don't have, or an ability that you are work in progress on. But it's when we can just take away the competition or the competing or the comparing and just go, I celebrate that. Doesn't matter who's showing up with it. I celebrate that. I think that's such an important part to help with all of that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Green-eyed monster.
Yes.
Green-eyed monster. Social media.
Jealousy.
Cut the crap.
Just let it all go. Feel it, acknowledge it, and throw it out the window.
Spit it into your hand, open your hand, kiss it goodbye, and blow it away.
Yeah.
Or maybe not do all that, but the green-eyed monster is just one that's going to take you off purpose.
Well, it's an energy drain, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not nice energy.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Yes. Another one we went into was to be aware of other people's stories. That's where we talked about, how everybody had an opinion. Oh, don't do that because this person,
don't have a baby because I know someone who had a horrible pregnancy and and
yes, 500 years ago.
Yeah. Caveman. Oh, okay, great, righto.
Yes.
We can attach very, very quickly to other people's stories. So the moment you feel yourself, like your mind is an amazing tool. So when your mind is on purpose, it's inspired and it's alive. But when something comes in and you hear it and you go, this doesn't feel right, but your mind goes, oh, come on, we'll be fine. But then your physical symptoms come into, oh, okay, this doesn't feel right. Listen to those, definitely listen to the mind. But if you miss that sign, listen to the physical symptom. So when other people tell stories and your body goes, oh, I don't want to be part of that, or this doesn't feel right, or no. That's 100%. You've missed the first part of listening to their story. Like, that's 100%. I need to get out of this, or this is not right for me. Like, listen to that stuff, because
it's your intuitive guidance trying to get your attention, and you have to pay attention.
Because if you don't, that intuitive guidance will give you another smack.
Smack on your head. Absolutely.
But other people's stories are just their ancestral stories that they've held on to for so long.
And not really anything to do with you anyway.
It's not yours. What do they say? Not my monkey, not my circus.
Yeah.
And it's people who go, it's people go, my nana's auntie's sister or whatever, who's my long lost cousin, they have this disease, so I must have it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you could if you kept repeating that.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep repeating it and you're going to make it happen. But
So be aware of those ancestral stories that my mum used to make me eat this, so you're going to eat it. Just be aware. No, I'm going to break the pattern. Now I'm not eating it.
Yep. Released and let it go.
The next one is find your authentic voice.
Yes.
And do more of it.
And do more of it. Bring more
Glitter
of it.
bomb yourself with that. Yep.
That's it. Well, and we talked about that when we find our authentic voice, it calls our people in. We show up for our people, they get attracted to us, and it creates more calmness, more wisdom, more being on track. Being on trackedness.
Being on track, being on tracked triumph.
Yes.
Triumph that track, yep.
And the last one I have is we talked about that whole thing of negativity has too much Velcro. So no recognizing, and that can be related to other people's stories. It can be related to not really finding your authentic voice, is just getting into a negative spin on things. It's like, it's there. Negativity does exist, but we don't need to get stuck in repeating stories or gossip or anything of that nature. Just release it and glitter bomb yourself with something loving, uplifting, peaceful.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
And I've written down know why.
Okay, yes. Know why.
Yeah. Know why. Why is this happening to me? Why is it happening to me and not my sister? Why is it happening to me and not my old friend? Why doesn't it happen to mean people? I'm a nice person. Why, no. Just know why. Just don't even, unless you consult with Moira or myself. We can 100% help with that why, but there's no why. Yes. No why involved in this. No.
Unless you had somebody to facilitate or help you through that, you're going to spiral into a negative space, and that's just going to get stuck with that Velcro, right?
Yeah. And that's where Debz and Moira come in.
That's exactly where we come in.
But it is that know why. People go, but why does this happen to me? I'm a good person. I'm like, okay, we can go down the why, but 100%. Don't put yourself in that why situation.
Definitely.
Yeah. What a great topic.
It's been an excellent topic. I've loved this conversation.
And I'll order the crowns.
Good. Third time's a charm, like I said. This is going to be awesome. And then we'll have to hear back how they all landed with the adjusting the crowns. I think that's beautiful.
I love the idea. I love it. And you get something physical that you can just put a crown on. When you're having a crap day, you can look at the crown on your shelf and go, I do need to adjust my own crown.
Anchored back in there beautifully.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, dear listeners, we would love to hear how this topic landed for you. We'd love to hear what your number was when we began, and what was your favorite tip. Do you have any tips for us on this idea of celebrating others' triumphs? So
I don't even know what my favorite tip is. I'm looking at them going, well, what one's my favorite? Probably the green-eyed monster. Drop that.
I think it's releasing the them and us, or the competition part. It's like, let's all put arms around each other and realize we're all here together. Right? Yeah.
It feels,
definitely. All righty. So wrapping this one up,
Oh,
Oh no, we've got to do our number check-in. Like I said, listeners, we'd love to hear where you were when we began and where you're sitting now. At the beginning, I was at a 1.5 and Deb was at a 2. Where would you say you are now, my dear?
I would say a 0.
Yeah, I'm at a 0 too. I think part of when we rate it is like making sure that we cover the areas that we want to go into and share as much as we can to inspire you to feel aligned with your own beautiful, deliciously motivated mindset. That's what we're doing.
Yes, that's what we're doing. These,
Awesome.
I love these. I
do
wondered
too.
how we were going to go with this one today. I was like, oh, do you celebrate others' triumphs? It better be a hell yes. And then I'm like, okay.
Darn right.
Okay,
Hell
we need
yes.
some tips. Yep.
All right, dear listeners, we do trust that you celebrate others' triumphs and you have a wonderful week ahead. We'll be back with you again next week. But if you enjoyed this, what your next tip to do is to share this. Share this with everyone that you celebrate, with everyone you don't celebrate, with people you know, people that you feel could do with a wee bit of uplifting. We would love for you to share this and share how this lands for you. So
yes, you better share it or we'll hunt you down. You better celebrate our triumph.
There you go. Celebrate our triumphs. We celebrate yours.
Yeah.
All right, my dear listeners, we'll be back with you next time. This is us signing off another deliciously motivated mindset conversation, and we'll be back with you again next week. Thank you, dear Deb. This has been wonderful.
It's been lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.